Well, prepare for another silver update and some off the wall stuff with some seriously hard facts. But, I never like presenting anything really serious. Hey, if we're all going to die, we're all going to die. Hey, doom and gloom, right? Anyway, the old lady sitting here in the chair, she says, I just rolled a blunt, took off my bra, I'm not going anywhere. She just wants to hear what I got to say. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Reality is, you notice the stock markets have been going down. They said, in January. That's any time, pretty much looking at this. I'll give you why this is, though, first. If you look at January, anytime the markets go down in January, that usually means you're going to have a bad upcoming year. Now, for the last several years, January looked good, especially last year, January. But, you also got to figure this. The investors or traders are figuring out, I already figured this out. I've already been saying it on updates before. They see the writing on the wall. The writing on the wall is this. What happened with the oil prices, right? They dropped a lot. Does that mean the oil companies are profitable? No. Actually, a lot of them are going under, right? So what's going on with that? They got one foot in doo-doo, right? They're basically, straddling the area of profitability. Actually, a lot of them are way in, the red ink right now. And you saw a lot of layoffs. Now, over the last several years, since we had the economic recovery came about where it really boosted the economy in the United States was the shale oil industry, the Bakken Reserve, and, all the oil drilling. That was where all the new jobs are coming up. Now, all those people getting laid off because of the oil prices. The shale oil industry is getting clobbered. Now, up in Canada, they're not getting as clobbered up there because it's a different type of operation because they do all the capital expenditures up front. Tar sands is different than shale oil. Once they got all the capital expenditures done, it's not that much to produce the oil. But see, the traders all know and all the investors know, they're starting to trickle in the data as to what the profitability is in the oil companies, right? So that is actually the energy sector and all the oil and exploration in research and development sector for energy is about 25% of the S&P. So guess what's going to happen? I mean, yes, I know stocks can be speculative, they can be emotional, but nobody gets speculative or emotional like I'm going to buy something when they see, losses. They see profits going way down. That's what's going to happen. Why? Because the price of oil went way down, right? So that's a given. And the other thing is they got all that debt, junk bonds in the oil industry. They're probably going to implode. It's going to cause another freaking crisis like, the real estate industry, which was financed by speculation. Now, the other thing is, too, a lot of money went into the oil industry, too, due to speculation. Why? Because of zero interest rates. In other words, it's another bubble. It's going to blow up, man. I shouldn't laugh, but that's what's going to happen, right? So, I'm going to give you a few things on this because I read a lot of stuff, and I actually work at a CPA firm too. Believe it or not, I don't talk like this over there though. Unless we're not talking to clients. But this is off the cuff stuff. But hey, Bonnie, I owe you one, right? Here's the gun. Bonnie, I owe you one, Clyde. February 28th, 1932. Morgan Stanley thinks Russia's doomed. They are doomed economically, financially, but Morgan Stanley is dumb. Because unless they got a freaking bunker deep underground, I know Putin, he's going to blow him up, man. He ain't gonna, that guy, I shouldn't joke about this, but, man, that guy is Bonnie or Clyde, or he's Clyde, man. That's what he is. Putin is Bonnie and Clyde wrapped up into one, man. So Russia's got their back to the wall. They got more nukes than we do. Don't let them fool you, man. They do. I don't know why I'm laughing about this, but hey, what are you going to do about it, right? I always said after the, they tore down, the Twin Towers went down. I knew what happened there and all that. Then they put the Freedom Tower up there. It said they're going to build a Freedom Tower. It said it's going to be an aiming point for the Russian and Chinese. Morgan Stanley's like, yeah, we got you figured out on our computers. Anyway, God, What else is new, right? So anyway, I want to get on to some other things too. This is actually a chart of prostitution. Now, I'm going to bring up this subject for a couple different reasons. Actually, the prostitution and vice index has been way down. Like everybody kind of left Las Vegas, they went to Macau, right? And they just, whatever, I don't know if I'm saying that, Macau, whatever. They went over there and over to China. Well, they get slaughtered over there too, big time. Not just because of Chinese regulation, but because people don't have money. But I've always been saying, like, the vice index and also the garbage index, how much stuff people throw away, it's always been down. The economy's been bad. But there's so much hypocrisy in the world. The blue over here represents where prostitution is legal. Green is where it's regulated and it's legal, and red means where it's illegal. Russia and Ukraine. I'm like saying to myself, talk about hypocrisy, man. Oh my God, that's hypocrisy to the max. You know what I mean? God, it's like U.S. and Russia. Hypocrisy. They're both screwed up as far as being hypocrites, and we're probably going to go to war with each other. Everywhere else it's freaking. You can do what you want, right? Hey. Blue and green. But, if you make a lot of money on silver, that might be an industry to get into. Just got to go to a blue or green country. Canada, Mexico, anywhere in Europe just about, everywhere in South America. You go to Australia, right? So you could start yourself some colloidal silver spas. And if you don't know what to do with your money after you make all your big bucks on the silver later on, you can set up a nice business in that way and be back in the retail service industry, like the Mary Magdalene medicinal marijuana masseuses. So just as I said before, but just an idea for the future, because I don't want to put your constraints on for just thinking about silver. We got to think about what we do when we sell it. You can open up a business, right? Just make sure you go to a green or a blue country. So they'll probably be rolling in cash after, that'll be the thing, because that stuff is always around. It's been around. So that's the only business that's been around since day one. But I got to tell you this, as, the old lady here has rolled up a blunt, took her bra off, and is listening to me. I'm going to tell you the other thing is with Saudi. I told you about, man, I couldn't believe this. I'm going to kind of repeat this, what I said before a little bit, but I'm going to add something to it because I read something else that confirms, another story I read on a major media, whatever it was. I know, they've always said that when the king of Saudi, Abdullah, died, that there'd be this big power vacuum and power struggle in Saudi, and it would create, havoc in the Middle East eventually. The whole area would be destabilized, right? Now, the next day, you look like a smooth transition. Policy, business as usual, same policy, right? So the other kings take over. I forgot his name, whatever he was, but, and I'm thinking, well, it'll probably take some months or maybe a couple years before something shows up where there's going to be tension. Well, you know what it was? It was 2 days later. It was actually in the Huffington Post. I was reading this story where they said that there's already like a palace coup going on where these people that were in the Saudi family that were suppressed, they're trying to take over power, and there's other people that are in power. One of them's got Alzheimer's and stuff, and I don't know, man. But here's the other clincher. Germany just said they will not sell weapons to Saudi anymore because they think it's too unstable. Now the U.S. is going to sell them weapons. We got to keep that GDP up, right? So I don't know what the hell to tell you, man. But that's interesting, isn't it? It's almost like the markets are going to come down because this is not conjecture. This is like an axiom. It's like, you putting the 32 special inside that little weapon there. This is an axiom. It's just the way it works, These are probably the rimfire jobbers, for all I know. Probably not even centerfire back in 1932. But, I'm going to tell you this, that, when the financials come in, it's a no-brainer. In the energy sector, they're going to be horrible. You're already seeing there's some casualties. And, even Harold Hamm, the 50th most wealthy guy in the world. They made all the money on the shale oil industry up in Dakotas and stuff. And he's talking about selling off some of his stuff, right? I'm telling you right now, man, this stuff is bad news. It's going to be bad. You see, once those financials, I know stocks are emotional, they're speculation, but nobody's going to get emotional. Hey, I want to buy this. I want to speculate on this stuff when the price has been going up over the last several years. Now all of a sudden they're posting major losses. They're going to get emotional the other way. They're going to sell. So, I mean, that's 25% of the S&P. And then all those junk bonds they got were like poured, all that money was poured in there because of all the zero interest rates. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world or the end of the dollar. But it means we're already hitting another cycle here, big time. It's not conjecture. I've been saying it, but it's like the financials got to come in. They're really just starting to trickle in a little bit, and that's why you're seeing the markets go down. But wait till they start really coming in. And wait till the jobs report come in. Wait till the non-farm payroll reports come in. Wait till the new unemployment rates come in. Ooh, God. It's going to be bad, man. So, anyway. I don't know, but like when you sell off your silver, just make sure, if you can open up another business. I mean, I would be thinking about this. This wouldn't be bad, you do like the Mary Magdalene medicinal marijuana masseuses in lieu of health care. In other words, you could put that down on your IRS thing. Like, do you have health care? Yeah, I got health care. I'm a member of the Mary Magdalene medicinal marijuana masseuses, the 5Ms co-op. And, as long as you're doing this, I don't know, across the border probably, because, you can't do this in the U.S. because, look, you got one green state over here in Nevada. You'd have to be running this out of Nevada. I mean, that's a good job to be doing after, good investment for your silver money after you're done making loads of money on this, because it is going to go up. And, that's a profession that's been around. We talked about silver. It's been money for, since the day one. But, what were they paying with the silver, right? The oldest profession in the world. I know some people get mad at me, but I'm just kidding around here. Hey, what the hell? Can't you take a joke? Yeah, I know. I read the Bible. I know. Anyway, but that was around even back then, So, that's why we should name it the Mary Magdalene Medicinal Marijuana Masseuses. And it could be a business that could be, like used as your health care for like, in lieu of, Obamacare, you got to put down something on your IRS tax form. Do you have health care? Yeah, I have the Mary Magdalene Medicinal Marijuana Masseuses. I'm a club member. So right there. And you can have the colloidal silver spas, to cut down on all the STDs, if that really works or not. I don't know. You can mist it through the room with some right frequencies and stuff and strobe lights, whatever, So you got a lot of blue and green countries out there. The world's everywhere, so you can go anywhere you want. So anyway, I just want to put out a little bit of different update type over here because, what the hell? I mean, it's like we're at a crossroads. It's been taking a long time. We're all those people holding for silver. It's like we don't want the United States to fall down or nothing like that for real. I know we don't, and. It's like, everybody's making all this money on the stock market and dollars going up. We're saying we want the stock market to go down and we want the dollar to go down and we want our silver to go up, That's the way we're betting, right? I mean, I'm looking at it like to make money, I'm not really like cheering for the end of the world here. But actually, I tell you, J.P. Morgan's a pile of idiots because I wouldn't be pissing off Putin. Anyway, we ought to get in some joint ventures with him and some, some of those, professions, whatever the hell he's doing. But, the thing is, like, this is actually, there's going to be some major changes coming up here, So old girl here, she's thinking about it. She just rolled a blunt. She took her bra off, and she's not going anywhere. And, you shouldn't really worry about this crap too much because, actually, I keep seeing a lot of stuff on the alternative media about, if they're going to have big tensions with Russia, they're going to round up all the dissidents. Yeah, you know what they're going to do? They're going to round up all the freaking media crew of RT and all the announcers and going to get them. And I'm thinking, good, because I'd help you do that myself. You know what I mean? They're a bunch of anti-U.S. yo-yos. So anyway, we got a free country except for, we got a free country in the United States, I think, basically except for the red zone. That's all this stuff out here. Just kidding. This would always be the blue zone. So we can all go into business after we sell off this silver, make a lot of money, and keep making a lot of money, you know? Retail, go on to retail. You know, pay your taxes or whatever you got to do, and GDP, whatever the hell it is. Keep the the healthcare rolling, right? That's how I look at it. Anyway, just thinking outside the box. You know, if I was working for J.P. Morgan, I'd probably save their ass, because those guys, they're a bunch of pencil pushing geeks out there. I'm like, man, I don't know what's the matter with these yo-yos, man. You know, they're in Wall Street. They're so stuck up. They're yo-yos, man. Their heads up in the clouds. You know, you got to think outside the box. I mean, you don't have to quite be a Bonnie and Clyde, but, you know, you got to kind of blaze your own trail, you know? So, anyway, I hope you got something out of this update. Just remember, though, that for real, the oil prices dropped so much. The equities in the oil and the energy sector, research and development, which is over 25% of the S&P, is going to look terrible. As soon as those numbers come in, there's going to be major sell-offs. And when there's major sell-offs, there's less equity to back up those companies. And guess what? They already got a debt bubble with all the freaking junk bonds. So it's going to lead from one thing to another. So what's Janet Yellen going to do? Janet Yellen, what's she going to do? She's going to roll a blunt, take her bra off, and sit in a chair and think about what she's going to do. That's what she's going to do. All right? So, anyway, don't worry about it. That's all I got to say, man. So, chill out, chill out, chill out. The world is not going to end. It's not going to end until Putin gets really pissed off. I'll just leave you with that thought.